Good morning students. Today I am discussing about the remaining parts of human respiratory system. Yesterday we talked up to larynx, the different type of cartilages that are present in larynx plus the voice box that is present in larynx. Now below larynx again there is a tubular structure that is present, that is called trachea. So next structure is trachea. Trachea is present. Trachea is commonly known as windpipe. Now, this trachea is basically supported by, near the walls of trachea, cells are present, and these cells are, this is how the cells are present, and they are pseudostratified, ciliated, columnar, epithelial, glandular cells. And these glandular cells, these are containing glandular cells, so they are responsible for the secretion of mucus. And this mucus is going to keep all these respiratory tract moist, plus it is going to trap the dust particles present over here, and because here ciliated cells are present, that means small cilia are present. So these cilia are going to move, and these are going to push this mucus with trapped dust particles upward in our upper tract, and finally we can spit it out. So this is the function of these specific type of cells. Now these tracheas are also supported by specific rings which are helping or which are preventing in the collapsion of trachea. Basically incomplete cartilaginous rings are present in trachea, which are complete from the front side but they are not present from the back side. That's why I am saying incomplete cartilaginous rings. So this is how incomplete cartilaginous rings are present, and these rings are preventing the collapsing of trachea. Now this trachea is going to bifurcate. It is going to divide into two tubular structures known as primary bronchi, and these primary bronchi are going to enter into each of the lungs. So this is how here lungs are going to be present. These lungs are basically present in the cavity, and that cavity is known as thoracic cavity. So these primary bronchi are going to enter into lungs, and lungs are the main organs of our respiratory system. So this is the left lung. One primary bronchi is going to enter into the left lung, and the secondary primary bronchi is going to enter into the right lung. If we see the lungs, basically there is a cavity, that is thoracic cavity or chest cavity, that is going to enclose these lungs. Plus on the front side we are having in mid a straight bone, that is sternum, plus with the sternum ribs are going to be joined, and on the back side we are having thoracic vertebra. So these lungs are supported from the back side with the thoracic vertebra, and front side sternum and ribs are present. Plus on the lower side there is a dome like structure present, that is diaphragm, and this diaphragm is going to separate this thoracic cavity with our abdominal cavity. So this is how lungs are present. Now if we see the structure of lungs, with the upper part of the lungs is very narrow, and that is known as apex region, while the base is broad, and this is the base portion. So apex is narrow and base is going to be broad. And if we see the structural difference between right and left lung, firstly their size is varying. The left lung is of small size as compared to the right lung. Plus there is a specific notch like structure that is present in the left lung, and it is not present in the right lung. This is a cardiac notch. Why this cardiac notch is present over here? We know heart is present in the center over here, and both of these sides of in heart are surrounded by the lungs. So heart is present in the center, but it is somewhat tilted to the left side. So this portion of the lung is going to accommodate the tilted portion of the heart. That's why over here cardiac notch is present. Now these lungs are divided into different lobes. There are various fissures that are going to divide them into different lobes. This is a oblique fissure, and this oblique fissure is going to divide our left lung into two lobes, that is the superior lobe and the inferior lobe. This side of the lung is also divided into various lobes. Here only one single fissure is present. Over here two fissures are present. One is horizontal fissure and the second one is again a oblique fissure. So superior, middle and inferior, the right lung is made up of three lobes and because of two fissures, and the left lung is having two lobes because of one single fissure. So this is how the lungs are present. Now these primary bronchi, when they are entering inside the lung, again they are going to bifurcate into secondary and tertiary bronchi. Another important thing is the lungs are having a protective covering that is surrounding them, and this protective covering is known as pleura. So there are two layers of protective covering that are surrounding both our lungs, and this is pleura. The outer one, the outside, is known as parietal pleura. And the inner one is known as visceral pleura. So between the outer one, the parietal pleura and visceral pleura, there is present a parietal cavity, a pleural cavity is present, and this pleural cavity is filled with a pleural fluid. A fluid is continuously flowing between this region. Now this fluid is acting as a lubricant, and it is going to prevent the friction between these two walls. The lungs are going to continuously expand and contract, so the friction will be prevented by this pleural fluid. So this is how the lungs are present. Now inside the lungs, these primary bronchi, these are primary bronchi. These primary bronchi are again going to bifurcate into secondary bronchi, which are again having tertiary bronchi. So continuous branching is taking place, and all up to tertiary bronchi, all the structures are supported by cartilaginous rings. These all structures are having cartilaginous rings. Now the diameter is going to narrow down, and from these tertiary bronchi very fine tubes are going to arise, which are known as bronchioles. And these bronchioles are not having these cartilaginous rings. So these cartilaginous rings are present up to the tertiary bronchi. Later on, these bronchioles are, all bronchioles, various bronchioles are going to arise. These bronchioles are going to open into sac or balloon-like structures known as alveolar sac. So here sac-like structures are present. These are known as alveolar sac. And inside these alveolar sac, alveoli are present. So this will be a alveolar sac, and over here alveoli are present. Now these alveoli, they are functioning as a balloon. Means when air is going to come inside these alveoli, they are going to expand, and when they are going to remove the air, they are going to contract. This is how they are functioning. Now important thing with alveoli is these alveoli are surrounded by various blood capillaries, and with the help of these blood capillaries, basically exchange of gases takes place between alveoli and blood capillaries. They will get oxygen when we are inhaling. This oxygen will be transported to blood capillaries. The blood capillaries are going to carry carbon dioxide and they will finally exchange it with the alveoli. So each alveoli is going to function as a single lung. Now in one single lung we are having millions of alveoli which are basically increasing the surface area for exchange of gases. More the number of alveoli, more will be the surface area for exchange of gases. Plus these are, when we are moving inside the lungs deeply, the walls are getting very thin and these thin walls are basically supporting the exchange of gases. This is how respiratory system is going to function. In our next class we will see how mechanism of breathing takes place.